The truth about angels, are they among us? Have you ever found yourself captivated by the myriad tales and whispers that surround the enigmatic beings we commonly call angels? These celestial entities have not only permeated the pages of ancient scriptures and holy texts, but have also become fixtures in our modern folklore and popular culture. Americans often find themselves enamored by stories of angelic interventions, miraculous rescues, and protective guardians that ignite the flicker of childlike wonder within their hearts. It is a fascination deeply woven into the fabric of human history, echoing through the corridors of time, stirring the souls of those who seek the divine and the eternal. Were these tales merely figments of ancestral imagination, or do they possess a kernel of truth that beckons us to ponder deeper mysteries? In today's exploration, we shall embark on a journey not just of intellectual inquiry, but of spiritual introspection, a journey where faith and reason walk hand in hand, illuminating our path. Stay with us till the end, for I promise to offer a heartfelt prayer that will draw us closer to the divine, invoking the presence of these heavenly messengers in our lives. Let us anchor our thoughts with a profound and ancient wisdom, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91, verse 11. This powerful verse from the Psalms resonates through the ages, promising divine protection and guidance as we navigate the uncertainties of life. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. This verse from Psalm 91, verse 11, captures the divine mandate given to angels to protect and guide humanity. It speaks volumes of the celestial guardianship that transcends our ordinary perception of safety. Angels, as portrayed here, are not merely whimsical figures fluttering about. They are powerful protectors, assigned a sacred duty by God himself. Such a verse serves as a reminder of the ever-present spiritual forces that act on behalf of the faithful, even in moments when we are unaware of their intervention. Let us now turn our attention to the book of Daniel, particularly to Daniel 6:22. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, so that they have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him. And also, O king, I have done no wrong before you. In this gripping narrative, Daniel's miraculous escape from the lion's den provides an extraordinary example of angelic intervention. An angel, dispatched by God, acts decisively to alter the course of a dire situation. Here, the angel's role is one of direct intervention, altering the natural order to protect the innocent. This incident underscores the dynamic and powerful reach of angelic beings in the realm of human affairs. Lastly, we delve into Hebrews 13:2. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing some have unwittingly entertained angels. This verse extends an invitation to divine mindfulness in our daily interactions. The simplicity of the act of hospitality serves as a gateway to encounter with the divine. Angels, often too magnificent for human eyes to perceive in their true splendor, might choose the humblest of forms to walk among us. Thus, this text encourages a posture of humility and openness, reminding us that the divine often moves in the guise of the ordinary. These verses collectively open a window into the multifaceted roles angels play within the biblical narrative. We see them as protectors, interveners, and even as beings who might walk unnoticed among us. The Bible, through these passages, enriches our understanding of the spiritual realm and the mysterious divine agents who operate within it. The biblical panorama of angels is both enchanting and profound, existing as one of the most compelling aspects of divine revelation. From the dawn of the Old Testament to the closure of the New Testament, angels are woven into the sacred tapestry with a presence both serene and striking. The first ripples of angelic mention can be found in Genesis, where angels intervene as messengers and protectors. In the tale of Hagar, an angel appears, offering solace and guidance in her moment of despair. This establishes a recurring theme of angels acting as intermediaries between heaven and earth, bearing messages of hope and direction from the divine. Moving forward, we encounter the dramatic episodes where angels execute God's will with resolute authority. The book of Exodus describes an angel leading the Israelites out of Egypt, a formidable presence ensuring their liberation from bondage and their journey towards the promised land. Here, angels are depicted not only as messengers, but as divine agents who enact God's will on earth with both power and compassion. The prophetic books enrich our understanding further by providing vivid descriptions of angelic beings. The prophet Daniel, in his visions, encounters angels who reveal divine mysteries and future events. In these writings, angels occupy a role that transcends the immediate, offering a glimpse into the celestial order and God's overarching plan for humanity. Transitioning into the New Testament, the presence of angels takes on an even more poignant and active role. At the core of the Nativity narrative, an angel appears to Mary, heralding the birth of Jesus and the incarnation of divine love. This celestial announcement is a cornerstone, demonstrating the angel's role in proclaiming the most significant events in salvation history. During Jesus' life, angels continued to manifest, offering him strength and succor, such as during the temptation in the wilderness and in the Garden of Gethsemane. These moments underscore the symbiotic relationship between the divine and the human, with angels bridging the celestial and terrestrial realms. The apostolic writings further illuminate the protective and guiding functions of angels. In the Acts of the Apostles, Peter's miraculous escape from prison is attributed to angelic intervention, illustrating their enduring role in supporting and safeguarding the early Christian community. Angels in the New Testament are emblematic of God's omnipresent care and the direct intervention in the lives of believers. Throughout the Bible, angels are portrayed as majestic, awe-inspiring beings who serve God's purpose with unwavering fidelity. They evoke a sense of otherworldly wonder and divine mystery, reminding us of the grandeur of God's creation and the omnipotence that governs it. This overview captures the essence of the angelic presence in the Holy Scriptures. As messengers, protectors, warriors, and worshippers, angels maintain a steadfast link between humanity and the divine, embodying the themes of guidance, encouragement, and the mysterious, unfathomable expanse of God's love for His creation. My dear reader, let us embark together on an expedition into the historical context that surrounds the biblical texts concerning angels. To truly grasp the contours of these celestial beings as depicted in Scripture, we must don the spectacles of historical perspective, examining the vast tapestry of human culture into which these divine messengers were interwoven. Picture, if you will, the ancients huddled around their fires, the flicker of flames casting shadows that danced like ethereal beings upon their walls. The Hebrews, like their neighbors in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and later Rome, lived in a world where the unseen was palpably felt, where gods and spirits hovered just beyond their sight, influencing the earthly realm. Take, for instance, the time-honored epic of Gilgamesh, revered in Mesopotamian literature. Here we encounter celestial beings called Apkallu, wise and semi-divine figures dispatched by the gods. These entities may share a certain kinship with the angels described in the Hebrew Bible, heavenly messengers and intermediaries bridging the chasm between divine and mortal realms. Turning our gaze to Egypt, we uncover a similar panorama. One need only look at the intricate tomb paintings and texts in the Book of the Dead to witness the Egyptian beliefs in divine messengers. These beings, depicted with wings and an ethereal glow, would guide souls through the treacherous underworld, a role not unlike that of the angels who appear to the patriarchs or guide prophets in their hour of need. The Greeks, too, provided a rich narrative soil from which notions of the divine messenger might grow. Consider Hermes, the fleet-footed god, envoy of Olympus and mediator between gods and men. His likeness to the biblical angel is striking, an emissary with divine authority, orchestrating communication between the heavens and the earth. It is within this melange of cultural and religious ideas that we must situate the biblical texts. The Hebrew scriptures, penned in such an interwoven world, were not crafted in a cultural vacuum. They emerged from the crucible of human experience, imbued with the richness and complexity of surrounding beliefs, yet distinctively shone with the light of divine revelation. Scrutinize the text of Daniel, wherein an angel, likely Gabriel, appears to deliver wisdom and foretell events yet to unfold. This depiction bears the imprint of cultural intertextuality, resonating with themes present in the Zoroastrian traditions during the Babylonian exile. The angel is a harbinger of esoteric knowledge, shedding light upon the divine will, a concept both foreign and familiar to Daniel's audience. Even within the early Christian milieu, notions of angels were not monolithic. They continued to be shaped through dialogues with Greco-Roman spirituality, as seen in the Book of Acts or the Epistles. Angels in the New Testament often assume roles akin to their Old Testament predecessors, but are also flavored by contemporary Hellenistic thought, which had its own conceptual framework for heavenly beings. In sum, as we peel back the layers of history and culture, we see that the biblical portrayal of angels did not arise in splendid isolation. It partook of the rich and varied human understanding of the unseen world, yet was simultaneously transformed by the unique vision of the Hebrew faith. A vision which ultimately points to a God who sends his messengers not merely as intermediaries, but as active participants in his unfolding narrative of redemption. In our journey to understand the presence and role of angels, we find our footsteps guided to several significant biblical figures whose encounters with these celestial beings are well documented. Each of these encounters yields profound insights into the nature of angels and their interactions with humanity. Let us first turn our gaze to Abraham, the patriarch of the Abrahamic religions. Abraham's life is interwoven with divine encounters, notably when three angelic visitors appeared to him by the oaks of Mamre, Genesis 18, 1-15. These visitors, who came to foretell the birth of Isaac and deliver news of Sodom and Gomorrah's impending destruction, were agents of both hope and judgment. Abraham's hospitality towards them exemplifies the reverence and respect due to heavenly messengers, and his pleading for Sodom reveals the deep compassion and mercy inherent in genuine faith. Next, we encounter Jacob, another pivotal figure in biblical narrative, whose life-changing experience at Bethel is both unique and mystifying. Genesis 28, 10-22. Fleeing from his brother Esau, Jacob dreams of a ladder reaching heaven, with angels ascending and descending upon it. This vision signifies an open conduit between the divine and earthly realms, assuring Jacob of God's presence and promise. Yet, perhaps even more striking is Jacob's wrestling with a mysterious figure, often interpreted as an angel, at Peniel. Genesis 32, 22-32. This nocturnal struggle leaves Jacob both blessed and physically marked, underscoring the transformative, albeit sometimes challenging nature of divine encounters. Gideon, a judge of Israel, provides another fascinating glimpse into the human-angelic interface. Judges 6, 11-24. At a time when Israel was oppressed by the Midianites, an angel of the Lord appears to Gideon, calling him a mighty warrior and commissioning him to deliver his people. Gideon's initial doubt and request for signs remind us of the common human frailty in the face of divine calling. Nevertheless, the angel's encouragement, and the subsequent miraculous signs lead Gideon towards a destiny marked by victory and leadership, highlighting how angelic interactions often call forth latent potential and courage. Finally, we must speak of Mary, the mother of Jesus, whose encounter with the angel Gabriel is perhaps one of the most celebrated in Christian tradition, Luke 1:26-38. Gabriel's announcement to Mary of her role as the bearer of the Messiah is momentous, not only for its theological significance, but also for the humbling and obedient response it evokes from this young woman. Mary's acceptance, despite the extraordinary and challenging implications of Gabriel's message, is a testimony to unmatched faith and devotion. Gabriel's reverence and clarity in conveying God's message to Mary illustrate the angel's role as a divine communicator and facilitator of God's will. Through these encounters, from Abraham to Mary, we see a tapestry of humanity's interaction with the divine, woven with threads of faith, doubt, struggle, and obedience. Each story offers us a model of how we might respond to the divine, whether through welcoming strangers, wrestling with our doubts, stepping into roles we feel unprepared for, or humbly accepting life's greatest challenges. These angelic encounters are not merely ancient tales. They are enduring lessons, reminding us that the divine often breaks into our ordinary lives, calling us to extraordinary faith and action. When we turn the pages of the Bible and delve into the theological concepts concerning angels, we embark on a journey that has fascinated and mystified believers for centuries. The very nature of these celestial beings is a subject that elicits awe and evokes profound contemplation. Angels, in their essence, are messengers of God, his heavenly couriers, so to speak, who traverse the expanse between the divine and the mortal realms. According to the scriptures, angels are created beings. They are part of God's creation, as meticulously crafted as the stars in the sky or the depths of the oceans. Psalm 148, verse 2-5, exhorts the angels to praise the Lord, for he commanded, and they were created. This makes it clear that angels, like all of us, owe their existence to the infinite wisdom and will of God. Their nature, however, is markedly different from that of humans. Hebrews 1:14 identifies them as ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. Unlike us, they are not bound by physical bodies. They possess a spiritual essence, which allows them to operate and manifest in ways that often surpass human understanding. Various theologians have pondered the roles and functions that angels fulfill within the divine order. Thomas Aquinas, the Venerable Doctor Angelicus, provided extensive treatises on the subject in his magnum opus, the Summa Theologica. He classified angels into 9 choirs, each with distinct purposes and responsibilities, ranging from the seraphim, who are closest to God and perpetually sing his praises, to the guardian angels, assigned to protect and guide individual souls on earth. The functions of angels are manifold. They are often seen executing God's will, whether it be delivering messages, executing judgment, offering protection, or providing guidance. The angel Gabriel, for instance, is prominently featured in the Gospel of Luke, declaring the birth of John the Baptist and Jesus, bridging the divine and human with messages of profound import. Moreover, in the book of Daniel, we encounter the archangel Michael, who is depicted as a warrior and protector. In Daniel 12:1, he is described as the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. Michael's role underscores the dynamic and active nature of angels in battling spiritual evils and defending the people of God. Theologians like Augustine have also reflected deeply on the moral status of angels. In his writings, Augustine spoke of the angel's capacity for free will, evidenced by the fall of Lucifer, a once glorious angel who rebelled against God and became Satan. This fall introduced a dichotomy within the angelic hosts, those who remained loyal to God and those who followed Lucifer into rebellion. This brings us to the relationship between angels and the greater narrative of salvation. Angels are intimately connected to God's redemptive plan. They announced the birth of Christ, ministered to him in the desert, and were present at his resurrection. They are not mere spectators, but active participants in the divine drama, heralding the good news and supporting the mission of salvation. Finally, it's essential to acknowledge the reverent humility with which we must approach the topic of angels. While they are beings of immense power and purpose, they ultimately point us toward God. They are, in the truest sense, servants of the Most High. They remind us of the vastness of God's creation and the myriad ways in which His will is carried out, often beyond the veil of our earthly sight. In contemplating these celestial beings, let us remember that their ultimate aim is to direct our gaze to the Creator, the one who commands legions of angels and yet knows each one of us by name. Indeed, the study of angels not only expands our understanding of the spiritual realm, but also enriches our appreciation for the profound and personal love God has for each of His creations. Throughout the annals of Christendom, few thinkers have had as profound an impact on the theological landscape as Thomas Aquinas and Augustine of Hippo. Their interpretations of angelology have not only shaped the contours of Christian doctrine, but have also provided us with a nuanced understanding of these celestial beings. Thomas Aquinas, often regarded as the preeminent scholastic theologian, composed an expansive and influential work known as the Summa Theologica. Within its rich tapestry of theological discourse, Aquinas meticulously examined the nature and role of angels. He posited that angels are pure intellects, devoid of physical bodies, yet possessing a perfection and clarity of understanding far surpassing our own. Aquinas argued that angels serve as intermediaries between God and man, executing divine commands and aiding in the governance of the cosmos. His theological rigor provided a systematic framework that has guided the Church's teachings on angels for centuries. Augustine of Hippo, writing several centuries before Aquinas, also delved deeply into the subject of angels. In his magnum opus, The City of God, Augustine explored the dichotomy between the city of God and the city of man, with angels playing a pivotal role in this celestial hierarchy. Augustine contended that angels, like humans, possess free will and are capable of choice. This belief is encapsulated in the notion of the good, angels who remain loyal to God and the fallen angels who rebelled, leading to their expulsion from heaven. Augustine's insights into the moral and spiritual dimensions of angelic beings underscored the importance of free will in the divine economy. The contributions of Aquinas and Augustine to angelology cannot be overstated. Their works continue to resonate, providing a lens through which contemporary theologians and laypersons alike can contemplate the mysteries of the angelic realm. By contextualizing their ideas within the broader scope of Christian theology, we gain a richer, more textured appreciation of how these ethereal agents of God function and how they interweave with the fabric of our spiritual understanding. In many ways, these theologians have not only influenced the doctrine of angels, but have also enriched our comprehension of the divine order and humanity's place within it. Their profound insights invite us to ponder not merely the existence of angels, but the very nature of God's providence and grace. Support for traditional views. Presenting arguments that support traditional views about angels with biblical and theological evidence. My dear friends, as we embark upon the delicate task of examining the traditional views regarding angels, let us turn our minds to the ancient and sacred texts which have offered glimpses of these celestial beings. In our journey, we shall find that the angels, as traditionally understood, are not fanciful inventions of unsophisticated imaginations, but rather profound witnesses to a reality that transcends the mundane. First and foremost, let us consider the biblical testimonies concerning angels. The Holy Scriptures, revered through the ages, place angels within the very fabric of the divine narrative. The psalmist, in Psalms 91:11, declares, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Here we see the role of angels as protectors, commanded by God to safeguard his beloved. This protective function is not an isolated incident, but a recurring theme throughout the sacred texts. Let us revisit the spine-tingling account in Daniel 6, verse 22, where the prophet recounts how an angel shut the mouths of the lions, saving him from certain death in the lion's den. "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me." Such interventions speak of angels as active agents of divine deliverance, bridging the celestial and terrestrial in moments of dire need. Hebrews 13:2 also reveals a fascinating dimension of angelic interaction with humankind. "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." This verse suggests that angels can appear in ordinary guise, mingling unnoticed among mortals. What profound mystery, that beings of such exalted nature might walk among us unseen, participating in the quotidian acts of kindness and charity. The theological perspectives further fortify the traditional views on angels. Early church fathers, such as St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas, devoted considerable scholarship to elucidating the nature and ministry of angels. Augustine, in The City of God, speaks of angels as pure spirits created by God, whose primary function is to serve as messengers and ministers to his providential will. Aquinas, in his magnum opus, Summa Theologica, expands this by classifying angels into distinct orders and functions, according to their proximity to the divine and their designated roles. These theological frameworks are not to be dismissed as mere antiquated musings. Rather, they offer a robust, systematic understanding of a rich and coherent angelology. The traditional views encapsulate angels' roles as messengers, protectors, and intermediaries, framed within a divine hierarchy, each one reflecting the wisdom and glory of the Creator. Furthermore, consider the accounts of the early saints and mystics, whose experiences often involved angelic visitations that reinforced their faith and mission. These personal testimonies, while anecdotal, align consistently with the biblical depictions and theological formulations, providing a cumulative case for the traditional view. In conclusion, dear listener, we can confidently assert that the traditional views on angels are firmly anchored in Scripture and theological discourse. They portray angels as vital participants in the divine economy, charged with safeguarding, guiding, and delivering messages from the Almighty. This understanding is not merely a vestige of superstitious belief, but a testament to enduring truths that have shaped the faith and hope of countless generations. Let us, therefore, embrace this heritage with both reverence and intellectual rigor, recognizing the angels for the wondrous and mysterious servants they are, tirelessly weaving the threads of the divine narrative within our world. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. May it deepen your appreciation for the celestial helpers who watch over us and fortify your own journey of faith. Challenges to traditional views. My dear reader, as we delve into the realm of angels, it is essential to acknowledge that even the most deeply rooted beliefs are subject to scrutiny and debate. Examining the traditional views on angels is not only an exercise in intellectual curiosity, but also a necessary endeavor to understand the myriad perspectives that shape our understanding of these celestial beings. Firstly, one must consider the theological perspectives that challenge conventional views. Traditional Christian theology often portrays angels as immutable beings, wholly separate from humanity and entirely devoted to the divine will. However, some contemporary theologians argue that this view may be overly simplistic. They suggest that angels, like humans, possess free will and are capable of growth and change. This perspective opens the door to a more nuanced understanding of angelic beings, acknowledging that their roles and responsibilities could evolve over time. Moreover, the debate extends to the nature and hierarchy of angels. Traditional views, heavily influenced by scholars like Thomas Aquinas, categorize angels into a fixed hierarchy with specific duties. Yet some modern theologians question the rigidity of this hierarchy. They propose that angelic roles might be more fluid, allowing for overlap and interchangeability of duties based on divine needs. Another significant challenge to traditional views comes from the realm of biblical interpretation. Critics argue that many of the conventional depictions of angels are not directly supported by scriptural evidence. They point out that the Bible offers a varied and sometimes contradictory portrayal of angels. For instance, while some passages describe angels as fearsome warriors of God, others depict them as messengers of peace and comfort. This inconsistency, they argue, suggests that our understanding of angels might be more complex than the traditional narrative allows. Furthermore, interdisciplinary studies bring fresh perspectives into the fold. Comparative religious studies reveal that angel-like beings exist in many ancient cultures and religions. Scholars suggest that these cross-cultural similarities might indicate a broader, more universal concept of celestial intermediaries. As a result, they urge us to reconsider the uniqueness of the traditional Christian angel and explore the possibility that these beings are part of a larger archetype shared among diverse belief systems. Similarly, advancements in science and cosmology challenge us to rethink the traditional views of angels. The expanding understanding of the universe and the potential existence of multiple realms or dimensions encourage some theologians to interpret angels as beings that might operate within these newly hypothesized realms. This perspective, while speculative, invites a fascinating dialogue between faith and science, urging believers to expand their understanding of angelic beings in light of contemporary knowledge. While these challenges to traditional views might seem to shake the foundations of long-held beliefs, they also offer an opportunity for enrichment and growth. Engaging with these debates encourages a more profound and comprehensive understanding of angels, moving beyond mere acceptance of tradition to an informed and thoughtful faith. In conclusion, it is through the respectful consideration of these diverse perspectives that we can hope to grasp a fuller picture of angels. By acknowledging the limitations of our knowledge and remaining open to new interpretations, we can deepen our appreciation for the mystery and majesty of these celestial beings, whether our belief lies in the traditional narrative or beyond. In the grand tapestry of human belief and understanding, angels occupy a space that transcends mere cultural and religious boundaries. They are not unique to Christianity. Rather, they find place in the mythologies and theologies of many grand and ancient religions. To grasp the truth about angels, it behooves us to consider not only the biblical narrative, but also the comparative beliefs across different faith traditions. Consider first the celestial hierarchy as portrayed in the Hebrew Bible and the Christian New Testament. Angels often appear as messengers of God, divine agents executing the Almighty's will. They bring proclamations, protect the innocent, and sometimes administer divine justice. In the Christian tradition, angels like Gabriel and Michael hold prominent roles, guiding and defending the faithful. These beings are typically depicted as pure spirits, unmarred by human frailties, and endowed with superior intellect and will. Now let us turn our gaze to ancient Persian Zoroastrianism. Here, we encounter entities known as Yazatas, literally worthy of worship. They too function as intermediaries between Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity, and humanity. The Yazatas exhibit striking parallels to the angelic hosts of Christianity. They embody qualities such as truth, righteousness, and purity, much like their biblical counterparts. This convergence suggests that the conceptualization of heavenly beings may tap into a universal human intuition about the divine order. As we explore the spiritual landscape of Hinduism, we find yet another set of celestial beings, the Devas. While the Devas are more akin to minor gods than angels, they share several characteristic roles. The Devas, like angels, assist in maintaining cosmic order, protect righteousness, and sometimes guide individuals on their spiritual journeys. Their narrative underscores a recurrent theme: celestial beings as custodians of moral and spiritual balance. In Buddhism, the notion of celestial beings takes a different form. The Bodhisattvas, enlightened beings who forego nirvana to aid others in their path to enlightenment, share some functional similarities with angels. They serve as guides and protectors, embodying compassion and wisdom. Similarly, in Mahayana Buddhism, these beings are venerated not unlike the Christian saints and angels. Another striking cross-cultural similarity emerges when we examine Islamic teachings. In Islam, angels, malaika, are integral to the faith. Descriptions of angels such as Jibril, Gabriel, who conveyed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad, resonate deeply with Christian theology. They are regarded as infallible, beings of light who serve Allah's will. The Quran and Hadiths detail their roles in guiding believers, recording deeds, and even acting as intermediaries in divine revelation. The ancient Egyptians had their own celestial beings, akin to angels, called the Ka and the Ba. These spiritual entities represented different aspects of the soul and afterlife. While their framework diverges considerably from the Abrahamic traditions, the essence of unseen forces guiding and influencing human affairs is a common thread. In the rich tapestry of ancient Greek mythology, we encounter the concept of daimons. Originally neutral spirits, daimons evolved in later philosophy and literature to become intermediaries between gods and men, reminiscent of angelic beings. Plato and later Neoplatonists grappled with the nature and moral alignment of these entities, paralleling theological debates about the fallen and righteous angels in Christianity. Thus, as we unravel these diverse threads, an intricate and wondrous mosaic emerges. Though the names and narratives differ, the recurring presence of such beings across cultures and epochs hints at a shared human longing, a desire to connect with the divine, to find guidance and comfort amidst the vicissitudes of earthly life. In contemplating such unity within diversity, one might reflect on the profound mystery of the human spirit and its relationship with the numinous. If angels do traverse the heavens, appearing as messengers and protectors, they serve as luminous symbols of humanity's enduring quest for the divine, a quest echoed in every corner of the globe. As we delve into the realm of archaeology, we find ourselves unearthing not just remnants of ancient civilizations, but fragments of the divine narrative. These relics, scattered across the sands of time, offer us glimpses into the celestial and the sacred. The mention of angels, those ethereal messengers of God, is not merely confined to the sacred scriptures, but has also been etched into the stones, pottery, and manuscripts of antiquity. One of the most compelling discoveries is the Dead Sea Scrolls, found in the Qumran caves. Among these ancient texts, dated from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, are references to angelic beings. The War Scroll, for example, speaks of the Sons of Light led by the angel Michael, waging war against the Sons of Darkness. These documents provide profound insights into the Jewish understanding of angels during the Second Temple period, illuminating their roles as warriors and divine protectors. Another fascinating find is the ancient city of Ebla in modern-day Syria. Texts unearthed from this site, dating back to 2500 BCE, contain references to divine messengers remarkably similar to the descriptions of angels found in later biblical texts. These early records hint at a long-standing tradition of celestial intermediaries between God and humanity, predating the monotheistic advent. The ruins of Nineveh, an ancient Assyrian city on the eastern bank of the Tigris River, yielded another treasure trove, the Library of Ashurbanipal. Within this vast collection of cuneiform tablets, dating from the 7th century BCE, are narratives of supernatural beings tasked with divine errands. These accounts resonate with the biblical portrayal of angels, suggesting a shared cultural and religious milieu across the ancient Near East. Furthermore, excavations in the ancient city of Ugarit, modern-day Ras Shamra, Syria, revealed tablets that speak of divine messengers, bearing striking resemblance to the biblical angels. These texts, dating to the 14th century BCE, describe these messengers as beings of light and wisdom, entrusted with carrying out the decrees of the gods. The city of Lachish, a significant excavation site in Israel, offers another intriguing piece of the puzzle. The Lachish letters, inscribed on ostraka, pottery shards, date to the time of the Babylonian siege in the 6th century BCE. One letter poignantly mentions a divine messenger protecting the city, echoing the biblical theme of angelic guardianship. Moreover, discoveries in ancient Egypt have unveiled inscriptions and texts that speak of beings similar to angels, often depicted with wings and serving as intermediaries between gods and men. The Amarna letters, diplomatic correspondences from the 14th century BCE, occasionally reference such divine emissaries, highlighting their prominence in cross-cultural exchanges. These archaeological discoveries profoundly impact our understanding of how ancient societies perceived the celestial hierarchy and divine intervention. By examining these artifacts, we gain valuable context about the universality and evolution of angelic concepts across different cultures and epochs. In summary, the wealth of archaeological finds provides us with a panoramic view of the ancient world's spiritual landscape. These discoveries underscore the enduring presence of angelic beings in human consciousness, transcending time and culture. The notion of angels, far from being a mere figment of religious imagination, anchors itself in the bedrock of our shared history, inviting us to ponder the ineffable mysteries that lie beyond the mortal veil. When we embark on the exploration of academic debates surrounding the discoveries of angels, we step into a rich landscape of scholarship and inquiry. It's a domain where the certainty of tradition meets the probing questions of modernity, and where ancient texts are scrutinized with the precision of contemporary study. To begin, it's essential to understand that every significant archaeological discovery or theological insight invariably invites a reassessment of the traditional interpretations of angelic beings. On one hand, these finds can serve to confirm long-held beliefs, reinforcing doctrines that have been the bedrock of faith for centuries. For instance, ancient manuscripts and artifacts often cast light on the historical and cultural context of biblical events, thereby enriching our understanding and appreciation of the texts concerning angels. However, the academic realm is not solely a bastion of confirmation. Often discoveries serve as catalysts for intense debate and at times discomfort within the scholarly community. Consider the Dead Sea Scrolls, for example. These ancient texts, unearthed mid-20th century, encompassed fragments that hinted at early Jewish beliefs about angels, some of which diverged from the canonical portrayals many had accepted without question. Such revelations opened the floodgates for scholarly discourse, inviting a plethora of interpretations and reinterpretations. These debates can be broadly categorized into two camps: those that uphold the traditional view and those that challenge it. Traditionalists might argue, with significant justification, that new discoveries tend to confirm the essence of biblical teachings. They emphasize continuity, pointing out that despite the multitude of interpretations, the core message about angels' roles as messengers and servants of the divine remains unswervingly intact. On the other side of this scholarly spectrum, more critical voices propose that these discoveries necessitate a revisitation of long-standing doctrines. They argue that the evolving understanding of historical contexts and linguistic nuances demands a fresh exegetical approach. For instance, some scholars suggest that certain angelic appearances once considered literal may in fact be symbolic or metaphorical, reflecting the theological and literary styles of their time. These academic debates extend beyond the mere existence and roles of angels. They delve into deeper, often thornier questions about the intersection of culture, history, and theology. For example, to what extent were angelic beings influenced by neighboring mythologies, and how should these influences shape our doctrinal understanding today? Additionally, interdisciplinary dialogues have emerged, where theologians, historians, and linguists collaborate, each bringing their unique perspectives to the table. This cross-pollination of disciplines enriches the discourse, fostering a more nuanced and comprehensive understanding. It is in these dialectics that the true vitality of academic debate lies, not in the pursuit of unequivocal answers, but in the continual quest for deeper insight and understanding. One notable area of academic contention has been the differentiation between angels and other spiritual entities such as demons. While the biblical canon draws certain distinctions, extra-biblical texts and archaeological finds sometimes blur these lines, leading to varying interpretations among scholars. This, in turn, invites questions about the development of angelology and demonology as distinct theological disciplines throughout history. As we delve deeper into these academic debates, it becomes evident that the discourse itself is a testament to the dynamic nature of theological study. Academic debates are not merely about proving or disproving traditional beliefs. They are about engaging with the complexities of faith and history with intellectual honesty and humility. They remind us that our understanding of divine things is ever evolving, and that true scholarship seeks not only to affirm, but also to question and expand our horizons. In conclusion, the academic debates surrounding the discoveries about angels serve as a crucial bridge between traditional orthodoxy and contemporary scholarship. They invite us to consider that faith, much like the angels themselves, is ever present yet ever mysterious, urging us toward a deeper, more profound comprehension of the divine mysteries that surround us. In the history of human experience, we find a tapestry interwoven with countless threads of the miraculous and the inexplicable. Of particular interest to us now are those events which seem to bear the unmistakable fingerprints of angelic beings. Such occurrences are not merely tales of antiquity, but continue to surface in the chronicles of every age, inviting both wonder and theological reflection. Let us first consider the account of Peter's miraculous escape from prison, as recorded in the Acts of the Apostles. Bound with chains, guarded by squads of soldiers, and locked behind iron gates, Peter's situation was seemingly hopeless. Yet, in the dead of night, an angel appeared, his visage radiant and his presence commanding. Rousing Peter from sleep, the angel undid his chains and led him past each guard, finally arriving at the gates which swung open of their own accord. Such an event defies natural explanation and beckons us to acknowledge the mysterious intervention of the divine. Turning our gaze to more recent times, we encounter similar phenomena reported with gripping authenticity. Consider, for instance, the testimonies emerging from the harrowing landscapes of war. During World War I, amidst the fury and bloodshed of the Battle of Mons, British soldiers recounted visions of angelic warriors who seemed to fight alongside them, providing protection and instilling an otherworldly courage. These ethereal figures, often described in striking detail, bespeak a reality that transcends our empirical understanding. Moving beyond the theater of war, let us not neglect the quiet, personal miracles that populate the lives of the faithful. Stories abound of individuals rescued from imminent peril by unseen hands, a car crash averted by what seemed to be an invisible force, a child snatched from danger by a figure that vanished as swiftly as it appeared. These personal encounters are deeply etched in the memories of those who experienced them. At this juncture, one might ask, how do we reconcile these narratives with the rigors of scientific inquiry? This question is not easily dismissed, for the realm of the miraculous seems to operate beyond the purview of our conventional methodologies. Science, as a disciplined pursuit of knowledge, is concerned with phenomena that can be observed, measured, and repeated. Miracles, in their very nature, are singular and outside the ordinary course of events. From a theological perspective, miracles serve as signs pointing beyond themselves to a greater reality. They are, to borrow the words of St. Augustine, visible signs of invisible grace. In the Christian tradition, angels are messengers and ministers of God's will, acting within the framework of the divine economy. Their interventions, while extraordinary to human senses, are entirely coherent within the context of a cosmos upheld by a purposeful and omnipotent creator. It bears noting that the skepticism of the modern age has not dampened the occurrence of these events. Rather, it has perhaps sharpened the contrast between belief and unbelief. To the critical eye, miracles may seem like breaches in the natural order, improbable and incredible. Yet to the eye of faith, they are luminous windows through which glimpses of the divine order are made manifest. Hence, we find ourselves standing at the confluence of two realms, the visible and the invisible, the natural and the supernatural. The task before us is not to force these realms into a false dichotomy, but to recognize their harmony in the grand symphony of God's creation. Miracles, particularly those involving angelic beings, are not anomalies to be dismissed outright, but mysteries to be pondered, inviting us into deeper theological reflection and greater reverence for the unseen workings of grace. In drawing to a close, let us remain open to the possibility that amidst the fabric of our everyday lives, angels continue to minister, protect, and guide. Their miraculous interventions, far from being relics of a pre-scientific era, are as relevant and real today as they have ever been. The challenge, therefore, is to see with the eyes of the heart, discerning the traces of the divine amidst the seemingly mundane, and to give thanks for the unseen guardians who walk beside us. Impact on faith and practice. The belief in angels is one of those delightful convictions that possesses the mind like a haunting melody, beautiful, elusive, and deeply stirring to the soul. It is perhaps only natural that such an ethereal concept would lay fresh kindling upon the fires of faith and religious practice, shaping them in profound ways. To begin with, one must consider how these celestial beings influence personal faith. Among the faithful, there are numerous accounts where the presence or intervention of angels has played a pivotal role. Think, for instance, of individuals recounting moments of unanticipated deliverance from dire situations, attributing these salvations to angelic guardianship. Such testimonies, far from being mere flights of fancy, are inscribed deeply within the heart and mind, fortifying one's resolve and trust in the divine's protective care. Indeed, these narratives ripple out, affecting not just personal belief, but casting larger stones into the communal pond of religious observance. Congregational contexts often witness the collective bolstering of faith as tales of angelic encounters are shared. whether through sermons, communal prayers, or personal testimonies. These stories serve as both exhortation and evidence. Exhortation to remain steadfast in faith, and evidence that the heavens are actively engaged in the affairs of men. Furthermore, there exists a transformative power in the mere acknowledgement of angels. Knowing, or rather believing steadfastly, that such luminous beings exist binds the hearts and minds of individuals to a richer, more mystical understanding of their spirituality. It is akin to reading poetry after having subsisted solely on prose. The ordinary assumes a divine hue when it is seen through the prism of angelic companionship. Additionally, this influence extends into the realm of religious practices and rituals. The invocation of angels in prayers, the celebration of angelic feast days, and the weaving of angelology into the tapestry of liturgical life are but a few ways in which these heavenly messengers permeate and elevate communal worship. These practices are not isolated innovations, but are deeply rooted in both scripture and tradition, reaffirming the continuity of belief through centuries. Relationally, the presence and work of angels enhance the practice of virtues such as humility, obedience, and charity. The awareness of these beings, who themselves are models of these virtues, serves as a potent reminder and catalyst for the faithful to embody such traits in their own lives. In moments of temptation or despair, the thought of angels, as ever-present witnesses and intercessors, can provide the strength to persevere and the courage to act rightly. Lastly, one cannot overlook the comfort and hope that belief in angels provides, especially in times of suffering and loss. When confronted with the raw reality of mortality and the fragility of human existence, the assurance that angels accompany us, both in life and in death, imbues a sense of peace and purpose. It is as if, in the darkest of nights, one might catch a glimpse of the morning star, heralding the coming dawn. In summary, belief in angels significantly impacts both individual faith and collective religious practice. Through personal testimonies and communal reinforcement, the assurance of angelic presence fortifies the believer, enriches spiritual understanding, and elevates religious observance, instilling within the heart a perennial hope and an indomitable spirit of reverence and awe. Throughout human history, angels have held a special place in cultural and artistic expressions, often serving as symbols of hope, purity, and divine intervention. From the medieval frescoes adorning cathedral ceilings to the modern depictions in popular media, their representation has evolved, reflecting changing societal values and theological understandings. In medieval art, angels were frequently portrayed as majestic and ethereal beings, often with elaborate wings and halos, embodying the divine glory and the celestial realm. These images, found in stained glass windows, illuminated manuscripts, and altarpieces, were designed not just to inspire awe, but to convey theological truths about the nature of God's messengers. The intricacies of their depictions, with flowing robes and serene expressions, aimed to capture the profound sense of otherworldliness and sanctity that angels represented. Moving into the Renaissance, the representation of angels became more humanized and dynamic. Inspired by a renewed interest in classical antiquity and humanism, artists like Michelangelo and Raphael endowed their angelic figures with a more realistic anatomy and a relatable presence. The Renaissance angels, although still divine, exhibited a greater expressiveness and emotional depth, aligning with the era's artistic exploration of the human experience and its connection to the divine. As time marched on, the Enlightenment period saw a shift towards more allegorical and symbolic uses of angelic imagery. In literature and visual arts, angels began to represent abstract concepts such as truth, justice, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. This was a time when the clear lines between the sacred and the secular started to blur, and angels found their place not only in religious contexts, but also in philosophical and moral narratives. In contemporary times, angels have permeated popular culture in varied and unexpected ways. They appear in movies, television shows, and books, often reimagined to fit modern sensibilities and storytelling techniques. Sometimes they are heroic protectors, as seen in films where angels intervene to save humanity, while other times they take on darker, more complex roles, reflecting contemporary preoccupations with themes of redemption and moral ambiguity. The modern depiction of angels often challenges traditional theological boundaries, inviting audiences to think more deeply about the nature of the divine and the mysteries of the spiritual realm. Despite the shifts in their portrayal, one aspect remains constant. Angels, whether in ancient frescoes or modern film, continue to captivate the human imagination. They serve as conduits for exploring the transcendent, the mysterious, and the sublime. In every brushstroke, every written word, and every frame of film, angels remind us of the enduring quest to find meaning and connection with something greater than ourselves. Through these cultural representations, we catch glimpses of the divine narrative and our place within it, prompting us to ponder not only the nature of angels, but also our own journey towards understanding and faith. As we draw to the end of our exploration of angels, let us first revisit the key points we've journeyed through together. We commenced with the pivotal biblical texts that lay the foundation for our understanding of these heavenly beings, delving into verses from Psalms, Daniel, and Hebrews. We examined how angels weave through the fabric of both the Old and New Testaments, playing significant roles in divine narratives. We then set these scriptures within their historical contexts, discerning how the beliefs in angels were shaped and perhaps even bolstered by surrounding cultures of ancient times. We scrutinized the encounters of notable biblical figures with angels, enriching our appreciation of these divine messengers through stories of Abraham, Jacob, Gideon, and Mary. Our theological journey led us deeper into the nature and purpose of angels, substantiated by Scripture and the wisdom of renowned theologians like Thomas Aquinas and Augustine. We weighed traditional views alongside divergent theological perspectives, ensuring a balanced understanding that honors both faith and scholarship. Comparatively, we took a wider lens to religious beliefs about angels across various cultures and epochs, identifying threads that both intertwine and diverge. We reflected on archaeological findings, engaging with academic debates that either affirm or contest conventional interpretations. Moving into the miraculous, we examined examples of angelic interventions and their impact on individual faith and collective religious practices, enriched by contemporary accounts and testimonies. Finally, we appreciated how angels have been artistically and literarily immortalized, their representations echoing through time and culture. In conclusion, the enduring fascination with angels reveals the profound and timeless nature of our quest for the divine. These celestial beings continue to inspire, comfort, and challenge us, calling us to explore the unseen with both our hearts and minds. We invite you to continue this journey with us. Please subscribe, like, and leave your reflections in the comments. Your insights and suggestions are invaluable as we venture into new topics together, ever seeking truth and enlightenment. Let us bow in prayer, seeking divine protection and guidance, mindful of the angels who, as the scriptures affirm, guard us in all our ways. Amen. Almighty and ever-faithful God, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude and wonder. We acknowledge your divine providence that surrounds us, often in ways we cannot see or understand. We thank you for your holy angels, those celestial beings who serve as messengers of your will and guardians of our souls. Just as you have commanded your angels concerning us to guard us in all our ways, we humbly ask for their protection in every moment of our lives. Send forth your angels to shield us from harm and guide our steps along the path of righteousness. May they stand beside us in times of trial and whisper your words of comfort when we are weary. Lord, in your infinite wisdom, you have appointed these heavenly watchers to assist us. Allow their presence to remind us of your unfailing love and eternal vigilance. May we, inspired by their unwavering devotion to you, strive to live lives worthy of their guardianship. Through the intercession of your angels, we seek strength to withstand temptation, courage to face our fears, and guidance in our times of doubt. Let us feel their gentle nudge and reassuring hand, directing our gaze always upward to you. As we journey through this world, fraught with uncertainty, let us be ever mindful of your angels who accompany us. May their protection be a tangible sign of your promise to never leave us nor forsake us. We pray this in your holy name, trusting in your divine plan and the heavenly assistance you provide. Amen.